Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you is something that we've seen before. It happens almost every time the gun controllers do something foolhardy. Gun sales spike at a multiple of what they normally do, and lawsuits ensue, and they were talking about Massachusetts. I'm about to show you that the exact same patterns happen not only in normal American states, also behind the blue curtain. Because when they passed this new gun control bill that they just passed, yeah, there's not only a few problems that are opening up for legislative issue, it's also backfiring royally. Now, everything I'm about to show you is linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on because, guys, they be trying to delete your subscription. I'm gonna be honest, just check it because they be crazy. I'm going to be 1000% real with you. But not as real as this shirt. Guys, if you are looking for a shirt for the fall, a hoodie for the fall, a long sleeve shirt, something that gets you in that election season and you can really stick it to Kamala and Walz, you know, they're on CNN tonight, so you might as well donate to something that defeats their ilk and their gun control desires with an amazing design just like this. The kamikaze plane itself with a tail of ban assault weapons now slamming right into the American ships. Yeah. I love the design, but it does have special meaning to me. It's a good picture of what we're doing 50-50 on. But there's a link right down there in the description box below. I cannot wait to see how many of you guys get this. The first one's in or the first one's out, and thank you for that support. But let's get into this, because this right here, people, it always backfires. It backfires every single time. There's not a time that it does not backfire, because the freedom spirit inside each American, it's always there. No matter if a gun controller's in charge, i.e. Kamala plane, kamikaze Kamala, or a Donald Trump is in charge, it doesn't change. Whenever you threaten our gun rights, we always go buy more. I mean, literally, the best salespeople on the planet for guns are gun controllers. All right, check this out. Lots of things that we're going to jump over to some other things we saw. You guys will be up on this. Controversy and sales follow passage of the Massachusetts gun law. So as you can see, this article came out this morning, August 28th. Now, or yesterday morning, excuse me, August 28th. There's some really important things and parallels that I want to show you about this, okay? If you're in Massachusetts, send this one around because there's some stuff here that we've seen before in another blue state. Boston. Some lawful gun owners in Massachusetts are taking legal action in response to the state's new gun law. Well, yeah, that's kind of that's going to happen, of course, because you're overreaching even further upon Second Amendment rights. 5 Investigates spoke with Jim Wallace, Executive Director of Gun Owners Action League, ahead of the lawsuit filing. Wallace doesn't like the state's new gun law, which strengthened what are already some of the strongest laws in the country, which does beg the question, if they were so great and so amazing, why'd you need more of them? Again, this is Massachusetts, but what have I always said on this channel? None of this gun control fight happens in a vacuum, all right? It moves across the country like a freaking, I don't even know, like a plague, like a bunch of locusts. Anyway, let's keep going. This is what he said. Literally, everybody is asking us what this means, Wallace said. The systems aren't in place and interpretations aren't in place. However, Governor Maura Healey signed House Bill 4885 into law last month. Does that ring any bells for any of you guys? If it does, let me know in the comments before I jump right over, because you got about 3 seconds left. You are correct if you said it reminds you of Oregon Measure 114. Look at this. The FBI says it can't conduct permit background checks for Measure 114 even if the law survives legal challenges. This is also the same tactic they took in Oregon Measure 114 when they didn't have the infrastructure for the testing or for the mandated firearms training or for the background check system, just didn't exist. And that's why it got shoved. Yeah, the exact same thing they're doing, or they did in Oregon, they're now doing in Massachusetts. Odds are it's probably going to meet the same fate, but let's continue. Let's go back to Massachusetts, the focal point of this travesty. It's a good word. If you're not familiar, here's what the issues are going to be, okay? The high-profile changes in the gun law include a crackdown on ghost guns and other untraceable firearms, so that's just propaganda pieces. Updating the state's assault weapons ban, which is funny, you need to update it because you already have it, and strengthening the red flag law, which allows guns to be taken away from at-risk people. So what that means is what they always do in blue states, where they start with just the family and police, and then they add like a preacher, and then they add a teacher, and then they add someone that you dated back in high school, and then they add the person who actually delivered you from your mother's womb. That's what they do. It literally is incrementalism, just in red flag form. But here are some of the things that they don't really politicize. Check this out. or publicized. They definitely politicize it. Changing what shotguns and rifles can be sold, so now you're inhibiting business in an area. Adding new education requirements to get a gun license, so putting more barriers between you and your gun, which is a license, which is granted as permission from the state, which is a violation of the Second Amendment. Laying out new requirements to add serial numbers to firearms. Well, that's kind of silly because serial numbers are on all the ones that are sold in the gun shop, so it's weird. That sounds like more ghost gun action right there. But this piece right here, and this is the part where the sales comes into play, because we already talked about how it's not in play, and you've got the legislature getting sued by different groups in Massachusetts because they literally said this XYZ is a requirement, but they don't have a way to do XYZ. I mean, literally, it's the exact same thing they did in Measure 114. But let the backfire continue. According to Day, who is one of the people who passed it in Massachusetts, the state has plenty of time to figure out how to implement the law because it doesn't go into effect until October 23rd, 90 days after the governor signed it. The law gives the state even more time to design regulations to implement some of the provisions, such as for serial numbers and licensing classes. So they've got 90 days to make up all of these things that they are now requiring, which are not made up yet. So what's going to happen here is they're not going to make it in enough days, and then these lawsuits are going to come through, and the court's going to go, is it in place where you can actually get your Second Amendment rights? And they go, well, no, but we're working on it, but don't be mad. And then they're going to say, yeah, injunction. I mean, that is literally what we saw happen in October. But I mean, I'm going to be honest, it is Massachusetts, so, you know, it's the land of Elizabeth Warren. But anyway, despite the debate, this is the part where the backfire comes in, it's clear the new law has had an impact on gun sales in Massachusetts. Best gun salesmen in the world are Democrats. Well, excuse me, gun controllers. They can be in either party. It's universal. Our investigative team analyzed state data about dealer sales for about 2.5 weeks at the end of July. When it was clear the bill was about to become law, there were 11,927 guns sold by dealers in that short time period, about 4 times the amount sold in the same period in 2023 and in 2022. They're selling guns faster than they can keep up with, Wallace said. And again, Wallace is the guy who is leading the charge on the lawsuit. So in the backfire column, we're going to put 4x the amount of guns that you didn't want to be on the street are now on the street because you are in the population of hands because you didn't want more guns. So then they bought more guns and gave you the old, I'm going to buy it like I want to. Then you got lawsuits that are come down against the legislation, which they don't even have it in place yet, but they got 90 days to put it in place. This is injunction bound. We could potentially have a double backfire where they end up with a complete injunction on their new little toy, their new little gun control rule, and they have 4x the amount of guns in circulation. This is what they do, people, and we are right here to bring it forward and show you what's going on behind the curtain of the gun controllers. It's an ugly sight, but someone's got to do it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments field, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.